Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bauerle.
Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with me, Justin. No Dave. Dirtbag Dave is out today. So we are here for our week 4 preview, starts and sits of the week. We're adding a new segment in. We're doing some underdog props, which I play heavily.
You do?
I do. I play nonstop. I won. I lose. Justin's going. You're just. What are you in that? You've been in that thing a long time. That state fair thing where it goes in circles, and you go. You're stuck on the gravity
against the wall. Yeah, whatever those things are.
Those things are pretty cool. I haven't been on one since I was a child, but that's what you look like you were in for a split second. But let's move on. I miss Dave, and Dave can't make it, man. I really do.
I know.
But hey, if you're watching the show, make sure you subscribe on our iTunes page or Apple Podcasts, or what's the other, Google Play, you Android users, you scumbags out there. Make sure you do that. Leave a like or review. 5-star review.
All those links are in the description on YouTube. So if you want to,
I was going to say that. Make sure you join our Discord. I already connected with my buddy 23 Dave 23, my boy. We've been talking on the Discord and on Twitter as well. So make sure if you want to get direct contact with us, go ahead and do that. OUSFF Pod on Twitter as well. Justin, man, did you get your waiver wire priorities? Did you get everyone you wanted? Did you wake up and like, yes, I got Josh Palmer. Yes, I don't want to say his name because apparently people aren't saying A-Chain's name right. So, man, did you get that guy?
Is it Devon?
No, his last name. He's not happy. He says he's not A-Chain.
What is he then?
I don't know.
A Sean? Like,
maybe.
Correct everybody then. I mean,
that's he did. And I didn't see it, but I was playing Fortnite and I was like, man, how much you bidding on, A-Chain? And you didn't see the clip. He doesn't like people calling him that. I'm like, well, I don't care.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got absolutely 0 people on the waivers this week. Everybody bid a lot. I saw $100 for Josh Palmer twice today. I saw in a league, a best ball league where waivers just opened up this week. We didn't do waivers the first 3 weeks of the season. $100 on Kyron Williams twice today.
I mean, that's fair. I would do that. $100.
Yeah. He's a stud. So there's a lot of guys that overspent, I think, today, and I was not one of them.
What's going on, Raphael? Yes, I play Fortnite. Yes, I'm running Fortnite. I'm the king of getting wins with 0 kills. 0. I'm just there for comedy relief, and while Davey and my buddies do all the work. And I die constantly. And I
tried playing Fortnite once, I think, maybe twice, and I didn't understand it, so I just stopped playing.
Board games are more your style, like the roll the dice, pick up a card. I like board games too. My son not into them. I tried. Do you want to play Shoots and Ladders? You want to play this? You want to play? No, he's not into it.
He's all about the board games right there. LFG right there. That's what he's talking about, I'm sure.
Yeah, board games. I played the hell out of Life. Life was my favorite board game growing up, by far. What is it? Do you not like it? Are you not a Life guy?
Let's talk about fantasy football.
All right, let's talk fantasy football. We don't really have any news and notes for the day, but we do have our starts and sits. So let's get right into that. Justin, I know that we've had in the past our whole group, like, these are the guys we're going to start generally. These are the guys we're going to sit generally, and we have our personal ones. That's cut out. We're not doing that anymore. We're getting together as a staff, and we are going to give you a guy you would start over a guy you would bench if you had that opportunity. And we are going to start off at the quarterback position. My son's got me into it. I do play 45 Big Goats 17. Oh, username right there. My username is Kitty Meow. MEEOOWWW. Add me on PS5. Seriously. The link's in the description below. Comment your favorite mythic weapon. So we have the
back on our fantasy football podcast.
So we have the quarterback position starts versus sits. Like I said in the past, we would go, don't start this guy, don't sit this guy, whatever it may be. But we're saying, hey, if you have this player, maybe go search out this player instead. So, Justin, let's kick it off right now. If you roster Dak Prescott in your league,
I do.
you might want to go around town. Now, I don't know the geographical map over there in Texas. I don't know where Houston is compared to Dallas. I'm not a smart man, but I would go, if it's west, east, north, or south, I would go to Houston and I would go pick up CJ Stroud because he's playing Pittsburgh, whereas Dak Prescott's playing the New England Patriots. I would much rather have CJ Stroud in my fantasy roster this week over someone like a Dak Prescott. Justin, now we talked about this. Do you have any thoughts on this at all?
I completely agree. I'd go CJ Stroud. He's the 5th most passing yards in the league right now. Dak Prescott has been struggling. And the Texans play down a lot. So that means CJ Stroud has to pass. He's got ballers like Nico Collins, Tank Dell. He's got Robert Woods. All 3 of them are performing well, catching the ball. CJ Stroud is definitely the route to go here, especially since Stroud's playing Pittsburgh and you got TJ Watt and who? And then Dak is playing New England, who has a pretty solid defense. I'm not trusting Prescott this week. I have him in a league. I'm benching him in a league, and I don't trust it. And for all of those geographical nerds, Houston is on the Gulf, like almost like it's directly, practically south of Dallas.
You're looking at a map. You're cheating.
I did.
You're looking right at a map. What's going on?
It's research, man.
So here's what I got to say about Dak versus Stroud. You might go, whoa, what's going on? Like the Cowboys are awesome. And I'm not just saying because he's struggling against that Arizona, because they did struggle against Arizona. I get that. But the thing with Dak is he's not pushing the ball down the field. He's not getting the ball down the field at all. He's 31st. That is, guys, there's 32 quarterbacks in the NFL. He's 31st in air yards. He's 6.3 yards per attempt. That's 24th in the league. That's not good this year. The Patriots defense is only given up 2 passing touchdowns all season long. All season long. The only quarterback to surpass 170 passing yards on the Patriots is your boy Tua, the MVP of the league. Everyone else has failed. And don't give me this, well, they haven't played nobody. They played Jalen Hurts week 1. They shut Jalen Hurts down. So what's going to make you think that Dak Prescott's going to go in there and light it up? Now, CJ Stroud, on the other hand, you already brought it up, 5th in passing. 4th in passing attempts, 121 on the season. They pass the ball. The 5th most, obviously, in the league. They're a passing offense. He's 6th in air yards. He loves to air it out to Tank Dell. Nico Collins out there. 8th in yards per attempt. The guy has been money. He's sitting there on your waiver wire right now for free. We told you yesterday to go pick him up for free. We told you that. And I hope you did. And I hope you plug him in because Pittsburgh will be had. They can be had. And they will be lit up by CJ Stroud. Please start him over Dak Prescott. This is a no if you have that opportunity. Other guys on my radar, there is none. CJ Stroud's the man. He's on your waiver wire. I know he is. Not in my leagues, though. He's on my teams.
I'm pretty sure he's on teams because I only have Prescott in a super flex, which probably means Stroud is definitely gone.
We're not talking. Look, we're not.
I know we're not.
Flexed.
I know. I'm just saying the only opportunity that I need to go get Stroud instead of Prescott, I won't be able to. Right? Just double checking.
Well, I'll just tell you right now, on Yahoo Leagues, after the fact, he went up 20% last night in rosters. He's up round rostered 40% in leagues, whereas yesterday he was not. He's still available in my league, in one of my leagues. He's still available in one of my leagues, but I already have Josh Allen, so I'm not going to start him over that.
He is taken in the league that I need. He's taken in every league. Damn, I'm in a lot of good fantasy players.
We're in sharp leagues. Right? What are we going to tell you? We're in sharp leagues. It's tough, man. It's tough out there. Now, the running back position, this one was a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit tricky, and you might go, Josh, we know who we're starting, and we're telling you in confidence. Yes, Dak Prescott is Elise Fawcett. Always a problem. Thanks, he is, and it's been a nightmare for him.
Yeah.
But as far as the running back position goes, you're probably starting both of these guys because the running back position is depleted at this point. Saquon's out, Eckler's out, Josh Jacobs has been complete trash bag. Derrick Henry's been on and off. The running back position, Najee Harris, awful. DeAndre Swift has not been awful. DeAndre Swift, you can start with confidence. Finally, week 1, he came out there and laid an egg, but weeks 2 and 3, he made up for it. On the flip side, they're playing the Washington Commanders. We're talking Brian Robinson. I'm okay with you sitting him this week if you have DeAndre Swift instead.
Yeah, I would agree. That Philly front seven is tough. That defense is wrecking a lot of people right now. Brian Robinson's coming off of a week. A week. God, I hate the English
A
language.
Week.
Where he only saw 37% of the snaps, 10 touches. Isn't that weird? A week.
What's more weird? Are you building? You're building a building. What's a building?
Damn it.
But seriously, what's weird? That's weird, right?
I know it is, and especially since those are literally spelled the same, whereas
Yeah.
week are two different words altogether. Anyways, he's coming off a 37% snap count going up against the Philly front seven. I'm definitely going to sit Brian Robinson this week if you have like a DeAndre Swift. I think that's an obvious choice.
It's not obvious. Some people are still worried because listen, Swift last week didn't play as much as we want him to. 53% of the snaps, which was great, better than week 1, right? But Gainwell still got on the field. Gainwell still was a thorn in his side. Gainwell still had 14 touches. Gainwell had 14 touches for 43 yards, 3.07 yards per touch, whereas Swift 16 for 130, 8.13 yards per touch. We know who the better running back is, but does Nick Sirianni know that? That's the problem. And that's the problem. It's been the problem since Miles Sanders. It's been the problem since he's been there. Nick Sirianni has no idea what he's doing with the running back room. Zero. He could put Boston Scott out there. We don't know. But I think after the Buccaneers game on Monday night, we saw an explosion of Swift, and then we saw Gainwell just up the middle fall down.
Yeah.
So hopefully the Eagles watched their own game and they saw who the better player was. And Swift is going to go crazy on Washington. And Brian Robinson is more of a plotter. He's great. He's going to get the carries. But against that Philly defense, they don't allow any kind of room. Look at Rashad White. Rashad White was shut down. And I know, Pamela, he's on your team. And I know you said he's going to carry your team to the promised land. I'm sorry about your luck on Monday night. It was rough.
She also said, obviously, start Mostert and A-Chain this week. So
it's not A-Chain. Pamela, how do you pronounce A-Chain? Ashan? I need to know. I need to watch the video.
Can somebody put phonetically like how to pronounce his last name? This is very important for us fantasy players moving forward. So
Pamela in the chat, listen, all you audio listeners out there, if you go to our YouTube page, Vince Talk Sports Network.
This is so great.
And please drop Kyle Pitts. He's done. He's not worth your time. He's not worth your trouble. I don't care if he was the first pick overall in the NFL draft. I don't care if he's Jesus Christ himself. If you're not getting targets, you're not worth it. Period.
He was a lot better this week. 9 targets was very good.
9 uncatchable targets. Did you see that tweet where everyone had like 80% catchable balls? His was like 33%. Awful.
A-Chen.
So it's not A-Chain, A-Chen.
A-Chen. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Mike Gesicki might be a better play. Dave 2-3. He might be a better play than Kyle Pitts at this point.
As far as Antonio Gibson in the chat, Raphael, I'm assuming it's Raphael. I can't get this wrong again. I don't think I'm starting Gibson either for this exact same reason why we're not starting Brian Robinson this week, just because that Philly front seven, that's tough. That's one of the better defensive lines in the league.
Antonio Gibson should be on your waiver wire. He should be dropped in all formats. He's god awful. He's only had he had 2 carries last week, 2 carries the week before, and 3 the week before that. Targets why? Oh, he's the pass catcher. Not really. He's only had 9 targets all season long. They don't trust him. They lost faith in Gibson. Gibson should be on the bench. Not bench, waivers. Gibson should be off everyone's fantasy football team. He's not someone you'd ever want to start until we have a reason to. And right now, if you're telling me that you want to start a guy who had last week 2 carries and 5 targets at the running back position, no, thank you.
Want to talk about wide receivers now?
Alexander Madison.
Oh, one more running back.
Alexander Madison over Gibson because, like I said, touches. Cam Akers will be there, but Cam Akers is just now getting there. He's not going to take over the load right away, and I believe Madison will still have a role.
Yep.
All right, so you want to go to the receivers? All right, we'll go to the receivers. This one's fun.
Receivers. This one is fun. This one's
so we're going. Of course, Josh. Of course, we're going to start Puka. Of course, we're going to start Puka because they're playing in Indianapolis. But you might go, man, he was awful Monday night. Like he His awful. His worst game of his career. You can say that. It was by far the worst game of his career.
That only 7 targets, 5 receptions for 72 yards. Still no touchdowns for him. That's crazy.
Raphael says he would start Gibson over Alexander Madison. Raphael, I trust that you will do the right thing and put him on the waiver wire and cut him. Ooh, Ridley revenge game. See, this is where we're gonna ruffle some feathers. I think we're benching Ridley. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start Puka over Ridley, and we have reasons why. I do want to start with Puka and why we're starting him and why you shouldn't be worried about his game last week, because his game was mid. Let's be honest. It was a wide receiver 3 mid. The Colts, I brought this up to you. Did you know this? Did you know the Colts play the second lowest man coverage in the league? Did you know this?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Puka is the 6th best receiver against zone defenses? That means he's super smart. That means he can find the zone. He can sit in a soft spot. That's what he does. Everyone's like, oh, but he didn't do that against Cincinnati. Well, did you know this? The Bengals shut down every receiver. Every receiver they've played. That defense is tough. They shut them down. They don't let any receiver beat them. They haven't all season. Puka wasn't going to do anything against them.
Thank God Eli Apple's out of Cincinnati, because that was a problem.
I can't. I'm in no league. Oh, no league. No league? Raphael, you're in no league.
Bruh.
Dude, we got to get you in a league.
Bruh. Okay.
We got to get you in the FanDuel league. I should plug that as well. We do a FanDuel contest where I thought I won.
Oh my God. He thought he won so bad and he lost by like 0.4.
The games were over. And I said, Justin, look, I won the DFS this week.
You literally were like, look, I won. You screenshot the winning roster and it wasn't yours. Because by the time you said you won by the time you screenshot, you lost the game because somebody had one reception or got like a touchdown or something.
It was by the time I pressed these buttons to screenshot, it updated. And I'm like, well, I just sent it without even looking. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, join our DFS, Raphael. It's really fun. $5. We all suck. We're all awful.
So Puka Nacua.
Oh, okay. Puka Nacua.
Can I talk about him for a minute?
Yeah, you could talk about him.
Let me talk about the Colts defense. And this is not a homer stat line, but so 3 receivers, the 3 leading receivers from the first 3 weeks were Calvin Ridley with 101 yards, who got shut down in the second half with only 1 reception. Nico Collins, we all know, 146 yards, touchdown, 7 receptions. Zay Flowers, 8 reception, 48 yards. That's it. That's the 3 leading receivers. I'm not necessarily going to say that Puka is going to get a big game, but I think Gus Bradley's defense is going to scheme against him, and Tutu is going to be seen a little bit more in this instance. Now, I did see Tyler Higbee as questionable for this weekend, so that could also change things as well, because that's one less receiver, or that's one less guy taking up targets. But I don't think Puka is going to get a touchdown this week. I would see his receptions also probably closer to the Cincinnati game.
Man, now, Justin is really
for Cincinnati game. It's still 12.2 points. So if you're putting Puka in your flex, that's great. But between Puka and Calvin, I'm probably starting Puka.
Now, are you Indy bias? Are you like, oh man?
No, that's just those are facts. Those are straight facts.
Those are straight facts. Well, I have straight facts too.
I know with your zone coverage and all that.
Well, no. The other straight facts are: Matthew Stafford has one love. He's always had one love in his life, whether it be Calvin Johnson or Cooper Kupp, and now Puka. He's gonna find his man.
Well, Puka was part of the Breakfast Club in the offseason that apparently nobody knew about. So,
and I do think. But I also think that he will find him and he will get him the targets and he'll just he won't score a touchdown, Puka, right? He doesn't need to. He hasn't needed to all season.
No,
he's been phenomenal. Let's get the volume.
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at straight Puka versus Calvin, Puka's the start here. I would still temper your expectations. This isn't going to be a 30-point game from Puka.
But it's not going to be a trash game against Puka.
No.
Now why are we sitting Calvin Ridley?
Because he's trash, and I've been trying to tell you guys that all season, all off season, everything.
He's not trash. He's just not connecting with Trevor Lawrence. Week 1 against the Colts, like you said, it was a very juicy matchup. Since then, he's done nothing. He's done absolutely nothing. That offense looks lost, though.
Since the second half of the first game, he's been bad.
To answer a chat, hold on. I got to answer this chat. I have to answer it. He pretty much wants to know, did Robinson get banged up versus the Bills? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we benching Brian Robinson? They're playing the Eagles. The Eagles average, they average 6 fantasy points to running backs. Now, not running backs. They don't give up fantasy points to running backs, period. They shut down Rachaad White like we all knew they would. They shut down Alexander Mattison in that running attack, which we all knew they would. And even Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke week 1 did absolutely nothing. Now, what's going to make you think Brian Robinson is going to outperform the Ramondre Stevenson, who was the RB6 last season, Mattison, who is he's mid, so whatever, and Rachaad White's a young rookie who's been putting up pretty decent numbers. Brian Robinson's fine. He's okay. But the whole point of this exercise in this segment is temper your expectations. Don't expect Brian Robinson to come in there and light it up. That's why we picked the other running back over Brian Robinson, DeAndre Swift, because DeAndre Swift's coming in, better matchup, more explosive. And the whole thing is we would start DeAndre Swift over Brian Robinson if we had to make that decision. That's why Raphael. It's just Philadelphia is that damn good against running backs. And you're counting on a Brian Robinson fall in the end zone, red zone touchdown. That's my opinion. Now, Gibson, on the other hand, unstartable, unusable. They don't even use him. It's facts. Like it's go look at his snap share, go look at his carries, go look at his targets. They just gave up on him. He fumbled week 1. Ever since then, he's been in the doghouse.
And how many years have we been talking about Gibson being fantasy relevant? And he hasn't been ever.
The thing with Gibson is he came out of Memphis. People were knocking him. Oh, he only had 36 targets or 36 carries in college football. And I was one of those guys who was like, wait a minute. Running back's pretty easy to convert to. Gibson's been out. He's been average, but he hasn't been the CMC everyone said he was going to be. He's just been an average guy who fumbles the ball. And when you fumble the ball, you lose your job. And that's what's been going on over there.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate. But look, you still have to start Brian Robinson. You still have to. But just temper your expectations. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Ridley has...
You're back to Ridley.
Back on Ridley. Since the second half of the first week, he's had 6 whole receptions. 6.
And it's because of a lot of things.
And like
it's also
7 targets. So
it's a lot of things. Look, they had all off season, the Jaguars. They had all off season to get ready for week 1, to prepare for that week. And Ridley was heavily involved from the very start. Now we're going to week 2, week 3. Teams are scheming a little bit differently. They're looking at the Jaguars offense, getting Trevor Lawrence confused. You see he's flustered out there. He's going back to where he used to do. Check down to the slot guy. Check down to the Zay Jones or the other Jones or Christian Kirk. Whereas
Travis Etienne.
Or Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's that guy who I didn't think was going to be him. Hey, I can admit when I'm wrong. That's okay. I can admit when I'm wrong. I change. I'm fluid. And my fluidity is showing me that Evan Ingram is that safety net for Trevor Lawrence. And when he's flustered, he's going to find 17. He's not looking for 0.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with 0 right now. And you add on the fact that they're going to London. I hate London games in general. I stay away from these games. I stay away from every fantasy player if I possibly can, unless it's Kyle Pitts, because he's the only one that scores touchdowns over there. I would just start Puka, the guy who's going to get volume, versus the guy who's in a whole cornucopia of receivers that Trevor Lawrence doesn't like to throw deep.
So are you starting Kyle Pitts this weekend?
I'm not starting Kyle Pitts.
He's not playing. You just said unless.
Are they in London? Are they in London?
Didn't you just say it was a London game?
Oh, it
no,
is.
they're not.
Is that a London game? I think it's a London game. Pretty sure it is.
I will confirm. 100%. Keep talking about Ridley.
It is. You know why? Because I was pissed. I'm like, 9:00 already? We're already starting this nonsense? Week 4? Trade Swift for Watson.
Yeah, it is Wembley Stadium. 9:30 a.m.
Did they sell more tickets than AEW? That's all I want to know. Nighthawk, trade Swift for Watson and Pacheco. Pacheco
I don't like that.
Hold on. Pacheco is a closer. He's not going to score you fantasy points. He's a closer. He'll score you 8 to 10 points in regular PPR leagues. Christian Watson, that hamstring injury really scares me. It really scares me. How long is he going to be?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that last.
The re-injury risk.
We talked about that yesterday with Jaden Reed and picking him up on the waivers. you never know how long Watson's going to actually be out with that hamstring injury. That could continue to linger all throughout the year. Pacheco's not been doing great. Swift is a stud. He's a starter. He's one of your starting 2 running backs on your fantasy teams. These guys are going to be bench players, maybe flex at best.
I need more context of your receiver room and your running back room, because if you're hurting and you need depth, because trust me, some of us are, Swift isn't the safest running back out there. He can easily drop one ball, and Sirianni's like, oh, to the bench. Kenny Gainwell, baby. We need 3.2 yards per carry. That's what Sirianni does. He's done in the past. So on that end, I'm sticking with Swift. I'm always going to pick the elite talent over the 2 secondary players. But if you're hurting for depth, man, you might want to pull the trigger. I have to wake up at 7:30 Eastern to watch Everton versus No, what is Everton? Do you know Everton?
That's football. Football. Soccer. It's soccer. It's English soccer.
We don't watch
Premier
soccer.
League.
We don't watch soccer.
Also, Everton and Brentford are 2 awful teams. Why are you watching them? Like, pick a real team.
He lost Big Mike. You didn't get Josh Palmer out there? He went for so much money in every league.
He went so big.
I put $58 on Josh Palmer, and I needed him bad. 58. I thought I had him at 58. He went for 87.
If you have CMC, Jones, Kamara, and I don't know about Jones and Kamara though.
That's
he's got CMC.
Hold on. CMC, right there is 1.5 running backs.
Yeah.
So that Pacheco move, he's solid. He doesn't get hurt. He's going to be the closer. He's going to get the goal line carries.
And when Watson is healthy and playing, he's going to be wide receiver 1 for the Packers. And Jordan Love is the 10th highest scoring player in all of fantasy football right now. So,
my boy Eric in the chat, Eric
Tankdale.
3-4. Well,
sorry.
Hold on here.
for the podcast listeners.
Are we sure it's Tank Dell? So he's asking DJ Moore or Tank Dell. DJ Moore is going against Denver, who just gave up the booty. We already know 70 points. Is it going to happen again? Are they going to get that defense right away? We're going to talk about DJ Moore later on in the podcast with the underdog over-unders. Tank Dell, I would start Tank Dell. Nico Collins, actually, is taking a back seat to Tank Dell. Nico Collins only played in 3 wide receiver sets last week. The other receivers on that field at all times were Tank Dell. Who's the other bum they have? But it's not Nico Collins.
Not Brandon Cooks. Robert Woods.
Yeah, Bobby Trees. Bobby Trees, 5 for 50, Old Faithful, and Tank Dell. We're taking those 2 wide receiver formations. Nico Collins is only coming in with that 3rd wide receiver set. So I would definitely start Tank Dell, Nathaniel Dell, going forward, especially with CJ Stroud in that passing attack.
Tank Dell is just so deadly. Like, so deadly. Since he's gotten it figured out in week 2, he scored 20 and 25. I'm starting Tank Dell.
Yo, this guy, Dave23 plays fantasy soccer. Get him out of the chat. Get him out of the chat. What is going on with your life that you're playing fantasy soccer, dude? I love you, man. I love you. That's hardcore. I love it. I love it.
I thought like fantasy baseball was bad, but like fantasy soccer.
I play fantasy hockey.
I play soccer. I like soccer. I love watching it. I never play fantasy soccer. Anyways, so should we move on? Are we done with Puka and Calvin?
Yeah, we're done.
I feel like that was a pretty good one. Yeah. So got tight ends, and hold on. Oh my god,
tight ends.
Yeah, the next position is a tight end, right?
I guess. We had a little, not an argument, because we don't argue. We're nice people. We're cordial.
Did we have an argument?
No, but you're like, I think we should start this guy. And I'm like, I think we should start this guy. And you're like, I think we should bench this guy. And I'm like, I think we should bench this guy. Or was I wrong? What was this whole Hunter Henry thing?
We both agreed that Hunter Henry should be benched.
There are 10 million FPL players worldwide.
I mean, that's because nobody else knows about the NFL. Anyways, back to fantasy football. We got Dalton Kincaid versus Miami or Hunter Henry at Dallas. Which tight end are you starting?
So this one is very, very easy to me, strictly because we know the Dolphins give up the booty to the tight end position. I'm starting Dalton Kincaid, and I'm starting Dalton Kincaid with confidence this week against Miami. I think he gets in the end zone for his first ever touchdown with the Buffalo Bills. I do think Dolphins win, so don't kill me out there, guys. I do think Dolphins win, but Dalton Kincaid, the Bills used 3 wide receivers, just 41% of their plays. drop backs, I should say, not plays, drop back. So every time Josh Allen is dropping back, it's usually a 2 wide receiver set with 2 tight ends on the field. I don't know what that formation's called. I'm not that smart. I'm not a PFF. I'm not Chris Collinsworth, but I do know Kincaid and Dawson Knox will be on the field a ton over guys like Khalil Shakir, and they don't even have Isaiah McKenzie anymore, but you get my point. Dolphins give up touchdowns to tight ends 2 out of 3 weeks this season. They did the freaking Parham chart. They give it up to Hunter Henry. They're going to give it up to Dalton Kincaid or Dawson Knox, but Kincaid's more fun. So let's roll with Kincaid this week. I'm starting him over Mr. Hunter Henry, Mr. I only catch touchdowns. You were very adamant about Hunter Henry. Why'd you put him on the list?
I just said I think he's done. I think his relevancy of a season is done. He's had his 2 good weeks, over 17 points. Then he had a 4.2 against the Jets. Now he's going to go against Dallas. I know they don't have Trayvon Diggs, but Diggs isn't covering Henry anyway. I think they're going to shut him down. Dallas is coming off an embarrassing loss to the Cardinals. They're going to shut everyone down on that offense. And then Kincaid has an easier route to scoring more points than Hunter Henry this week.
Nothing happened to Dawson Knox.
Absolutely nothing.
My guy, nothing happened, but they're on the field is about as much as the same. Dawson Knox is getting more targets, but I really think they want Kincaid to be this third option because that's what they want. The offseason rumors were like, oh, we got to get Hopkins. Oh, we got to get this guy. We got to get this guy. They wanted someone for Josh Allen. He's more comfortable with Dawson Knox. I understand that. But I did say Kincaid or Dawson Knox because I think one of them is going to blow up. The more fun answer, the one's going to get more clicks, the one's going to get more views. Come on, let's be honest. It's Dalton Kincaid. That's the truth. And Dalton Kincaid is my dude. I love this guy. Let's get this guy some rookie love. And I want him to score a touchdown. Dolphins win 50-7 and Kincaid gets 1 touchdown. I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that, especially over a bum like Hunter Henry. I can't believe people fell for that guy week 1 and 2. He did it again.
Here's a question from somebody new in the chat. Trade Etienne, Addison, and Sutton for Diggs and Javonte.
Man, that's tough, man. Should I trade for T. Higgins and Devontae Smith if I already have A.J. Brown and Chase? So he's
Same person.
I know he's asking 2 different questions. Let's address the first question first. So trade Etienne, Addison, and Sutton for Stephon Diggs and Javonte Williams. Let's just add them up. I'm taking Etienne over Javonte all day, every day, even though Etienne has no red zone carries or no goal line carries, whereas Tank Bigsby has 3, so that's kind of concerning. Jordan Addison, he's on the field. His snap share is getting up and up and up, but they still have KJ Osborne out there, and Hawkinson, who we're going to talk about pretty soon, is just dominant as the wide receiver 2 there, even though he's the tight end. Courtland Sutton, better than Judy, guys. I hate to say it. Like, he's producing. He's getting open. He's catching the ball. But Diggs is a fucking superstar. We're family friendly. I'm sorry for cussing, but he is a superstar. It's hard for me to – I'm taking Etienne, Addison, and Sutton. That's what I'm doing.
I am too. Addison's upside is also pretty good as well. We're getting a lot of questions in the chat here, Josh. Do we need to cover some of these like rapid fire here?
All right, rapid fire.
Okay, so next question was, should I trade T. Higgins and Devonta Smith if I already have A.J. Brown and Jamar Chase?
I have theories.
So you're getting all the Bengals and Eagles wide receivers?
I have theories on this. I wouldn't do it because you're limiting your upside. Yeah. I know it's rapid fire, but you're limiting your upside. Every time the Bengals are in the red zone, your fantasy team can only score 1 touchdown, and that's a problem. It's okay to have both, but I wouldn't want 2 of the both. If I had to choose a duo, it'd be Devontae and A.J. Brown because T. Higgins is getting targets, but Joe Burrow's a little hurt.
Yeah.
And it's not doing well.
Agreed.
All right, any more? What's up, Christopher? Talking about trade. I was offered Tyler Boyd for Quentin Johnston. Would you accept the trade?
I'm assuming you just picked up Quentin Johnson. Tyler Boyd has been pretty solid. I've actually been starting him in my fantasy league.
Screw Tyler Boyd. I'm taking the upside. I'm taking the upside, and I'll tell you why. Tyler Boyd's is Robert Woods, 5 for 50.
And he's also wide receiver 3 on that offense, which is not clicking right now. So Quentin Johnson does have a lot more upside. But Ridley Tyler Boyd is very safe.
Ridley for Jonathan Taylor.
I can't.
Okay, hold on. You're not going to answer because you're a Colts fan. I will try to answer to the best of my abilities. I'm 0-3 in the one league I have Jonathan Taylor. I am 0-3. I am hurting. I'm sitting there going, do I unload Jonathan Taylor for anything that can give me a win this week? That's my thoughts tonight. After this podcast, I will be going to that league and I will be trying to find anyone that can help me get a win so I'm not 0-4. And I'm trading Jonathan Taylor tonight. Calvin Ridley would be someone I would take. I'll say that. Because I'm hurting bad.
Yeah.
If you're hurting bad, if you're 0-3, you have to trade Taylor at this point. It's over. You need to get a win now. If you're 3-0, 2-1, I would keep Taylor.
Good night, Pam. I mean, you've waited. Pamela. Yeah. Go subscribe also, by the way, Pamela.
She always is.
For Jonathan Taylor, you've been waiting this long. If you're 3-0, wait for it. Just keep him. If you're 0-3 and you need to change something around, go for Ridley.
Yes. Do we talk to? We're done with tight ends. Tight ends are done.
Tight ends are done. One more question.
I'll answer all the trade questions.
Would you trade London and Warren for Akers and Christian Watson? So Drake London and Jalen Warren, and for Cam Akers and Christian Watson.
Yes. Double yes. Double yes.
You're getting two starters. I mean, that's
yes. And London doesn't get a lot of targets. If Pitts gets 9 targets this week, London's getting 4. If London gets 9 targets this week, Pitts is getting 4. I don't want a guy. I don't want my wide receiver 1 on a team that only throws the ball 120 yards a game. I'm sorry. So I would trade London now.
Speaking of Christian Watson, this has been in there twice. Sorry, Eric. What do you think on Christian Watson? Is he going to be better than Tutu Atwell or George Pickens?
Better than
one,
Tutu.
Not the other. Definitely better than Tutu, not better than George Pickens.
Yes, we know you, Pamela. I know you subscribe. I told Justin that.
Sorry,
he's a hater. He's a hater.
Sorry.
And yes, I do think that Christian Watson has the ability to be better than Tutu. I think when Kupp comes back, Tutu does hit the burner a little bit. He will still be that wide receiver 3, but maybe the 4th option with Higbee being strong. Pickens is that dude. Pickens is an alpha. Pickens is the guy there, and he's phenomenal.
Guy.
I like Watson, man. I like Watson.
Those were some really good questions, guys.
Very good. Keep it up. Keep it up. And all you Apple listeners, you lazy ones, you watch tomorrow or listen to tomorrow morning, come to our YouTube page. Join the conversation. It's fun.
You know what? If you're listening on Apple, throw it in the leave a review and ask your questions there. I would love to read those.
All right. So we have my underdog. Our underdog. Well, I made the slips, guys.
You should explain what these prop bets are for those that don't know.
All right. So Underdog Fantasy we're not sponsored yet. Maybe. It's a platform where you can do best ball drafts for any kind of sport. I think they got baseball, they got football, they even have soccer for Dave 23 in the chat. They have 10 million players over there apparently. So you can do season-long best ball, you can do weekly best ball, or you can do what I do is pick'ems, which you say it's going to be higher or lower. We can't do over under because I'm not allowed to bet in Florida, and that's a betting term, as I learned when I was sponsored by another Monkey Knife Fight. Now, higher or lower, they give you a line. And you can also this season do in-game lines. They had Mike Evans at 27 yards at one point live on Monday night. I smashed that, and of course I cashed that check. So I got 4 plays for you guys. And I would be doing this every single Wednesday night because Underdog is by far my favorite thing to do. So, Chris Godwin, his line is set at 52.5 receiving yards. Justin, do you think he'll go higher?
52.5
or lower?
That's really
Josh, I cash things. I cash things in my sleep, Josh. That's what I do.
I don't think he does.
You don't think he does? Okay, I'm taking the higher.
He's hit over 52.5 once this season. He's got to go into New Orleans. I don't think he does.
All right. So I'm going higher, and I'll tell you why. He only hit it once, like you said. It was against Chicago. Everyone's going to hit 52.5 against Chicago. Easy peasy. But he's playing the Saints, and the Saints are tough. That's true. They're 8th against the pass, but they've played teams like Tennessee, Carolina with Bryce. They played Green Bay, Green Bay's been good. Don't get me twisted on that one, but they haven't really played anyone of the passing ability of a Baker. And I'm saying Baker's going to sling it, but he does sling it. And they do get down the field. We saw it against Philadelphia when Mike Evans just went nuts. I do believe Mike Evans struggles this game. He always struggles against New Orleans, no matter who or what is covering him, especially Lattimore. I think Godwin's going to get more involved this week. I think he does crush this 52.5 because all that pressure is going to be on Mike Evans. They're going to try to stop him. So the underneath routes will be open for Chris Godwin. And plus 52.5 for Godwin for an elite talent like him, it should be doable. I think we see this line rise because the lines do adjust daily, guys. I see this line rising to 62.5. So it's nice to get these in early on in the season, early on in the week before people start making their bets. So I'm going higher, 52.5.
We have a higher or lower question in the chat.
Oh, we do.
Yes.
Chelsea. Well, is she cute? I don't know who Chelsea is, man.
23423 Dave. I'm gonna say higher, but barely, like maybe 7 or 8. I hate Chelsea for what it's worth, but they don't appear to be good this season.
What do I think
that's
when
an English soccer team?
Justin, I got a question for you in the chat. Eric wants to know, what do you think happens to Zach Moss once Taylor comes back?
Have you seen Zach Moss play this season? That dude is something else. I don't think I think he does lose, obviously, probably 2/3 of his touches, but I don't think he's gone. I'm keeping him, but maybe not starting him if and when Jonathan Taylor does come back. Hold on to him. Hold on to him.
The next person on my list, and I have 4 props. I like to play 4 slips. TJ Hawkinson. The line for his yardage, receiving yardage, is 48.5. Does he go higher or lower against Carolina?
I think he smashes that higher.
Smashes the higher?
I think you smash the higher on this.
Like, I think I smashed.
Yeah.
I smashed that higher. I can't believe
so
PJ
low,
Hawkinson's line is 48.5. It's unreal.
Hold on,
playing Carolina
on this one.
They're playing Carolina, who's given up 51.67 yards per game to the tight end already. So their average is already higher than the line. TJ Hawkinson has hit this number 4 out of the last 6 games dating back to last season. He's crushed everyone. TJ Hawkins is the target 2 there now that Thielen's gone. He's the second most trusted person for Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is the quarterback 1 in fantasy this season right now. He's lights out, historical numbers. You might hate them. They might be 0-3. They might suck, but he's putting up numbers. And TJ Hawkinson's been a huge part of that. 48.5. That's a layup. That's something that's going to hit in it could be at 60, and I'd still put higher. Trade Garrett Wilson for DJ Moore and Kyron Williams. That's for me, because I did put on Twitter, I would drop DJ Moore if I rostered him. I would drop him for Josh Palmer, because I don't want my wide receiver 1, someone I drafted super high, where you get no targets, and on top of that, your quarterback's only throwing for 99 yards a game. I mean, he's not throwing 99 yards a game, but you get my point. He threw for 99 yards last week. He can't get the ball down the field. Justin Fields is by far one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen in my life. I've been telling you guys it's all season long, all off season. If you've been here, god awful. But then you go to Garrett Wilson, and he's got the second worst quarterback of all time, Zach Wilson. So at this point, what do you do? It's a toss-up, in my opinion. And then you throw in Kyron Williams. Is he good enough to outweigh the shitty Garrett Wilson play because of Zach Wilson? I'm keeping Garrett Wilson and trying to get someone better. I flipped Garrett Wilson for Puka. Straight up. I did that. I would aim more for someone like that rather than someone who could be replaced in Kyron Williams and DJ Moore, who should be honestly on your bench waiting. Yes, if you have DJ Moore, trade him for Nico Collins now, because you can flip your Tank Dell for someone better.
I have Nico and Tank on the same team and start them both.
Over under 2 shows in October for Dirtbag Dave. Over. Oh, man. Oh, I'm pushing. I'm going to push.
I hope Dave's listening to this.
You'll listen tomorrow. All right. Next thing on my list, my third prop bet. This one is, honestly, there's no analysis behind this one. There's nothing. It's just Adam Thielen anytime touchdown, over under 0.5 touchdowns. I went the over. I went the higher. Revenge game going against Minnesota. I think they're going to work hard to get him the touchdown, especially if Andy Dalton's in the game. He can get the ball to him. I'm taking the over on Adam Thielen scores a touchdown against his former team. There's no analysis.
I agree. He's gotten 2 touchdowns already in 3 weeks. I'm taking the touchdown too.
And my last prop, and this goes with some of y'all in the chat, DJ Moore's line is 43.5 receiving yards. They're going against Denver, who can't stop me. They couldn't stop anyone. He couldn't stop Mike White. They couldn't stop Sean. They couldn't stop nobody. But Justin Fields is stoppable.
Do you think he's stoppable, or do you think Denver actually figures their shit out this week?
I don't think they figure the shit out this week. I think that they're in a disaster right now. I think that this whole franchise needs to get blown up, Denver. I think that, but I also think Miami put it on them for Vic Fangio and for, just Sean Payton's a piece of shit in general. So I think they wanted to prove a point. The thing with DJ Moore, he's been going against top talent cornerbacks. He went against Jair Alexander week 1. He went against Jamil Dean, which a lot of you guys don't know who he is. He's a very good shutdown cornerback for Tampa Bay. He's very good. And then he went against Ladarius Sneed in Kansas City. Kansas City's been stopping everyone. Kansas City has been lights out defensively if you haven't watched. It's kind of unfair to judge this team right away, although they have been stagnant. I do think this is the worst defense they've played all season. This is by far. Because if you look at Tampa Bay, Kansas City, and Green Bay, they've been playing very good defense and starting out receivers.
Very good, yeah.
Now you go against Denver, who just got lit up for 70. DJ Moore, it can only take 2 targets, 2 catches to eclipse that 43.5 for DJ Moore. That's why I'm going over. When a receiver has 43 stat line, I'm taking the over all day, every day. It doesn't matter who it is, but he's got to be a wide receiver 1 on the team, and he is. That's why I'm smashing this one.
This is the week for both Justin Fields and DJ Moore to prove that they're relevant and that this team can actually be something in the future before everything just absolutely goes AWOL. This is their chance. If they miss this chance, pack it in, drop them both. We have an over under and then a trade question. First one is over under 3 people are seen wearing a Taylor Swift shirt at the Chiefs game.
I
definitely
don't
over.
This.
I'm going over on that one.
I'm over it.
There's probably going to be like 300. And the other one was just traded away Puka and Pitts for Hawkinson. Wide receivers are currently Olave, Tyreek, and Devonta Smith. Puka would never play in my lineup, and I wanted to get rid of him at high value. Obviously, Pitts is shit. Win or loss, that's a big win. It's a huge win because Pitts should be on the waiver wire, and Puka for Hawkins straight up is very fair, very elite, especially when you have those receivers. That's a huge win. Congratulations, Jack. That's incredible. I wish more people thought about like Jack did. I really do, because most people will be like, oh, but what if one of my guys get hurt? No, trade for the optimal lineup. In the optimal lineup, you just got the tight end 1 on the season. Yeah,
Kelsey's not going to pass him. I think Hawkinson's the wide receiver or tight end 1 this season. I think he ends that way. So you just got the tight end 1, which is a huge advantage over everyone in your league, besides Kelsey guy.
Yep.
But that does it for the show. I mean, for now, I have some fun facts if you want to do those.
Sure, whatever you need to get ready for the outro this time.
Hey, I sent that clip to a couple of you listeners out there. You know who you are. I sent it to you. I sent it to Dave. In my head, it was, I'm like, I don't know what to think. But hey, listen, we are gonna wrap it up. We'll be back Tuesday afternoon at our normal time slot, 12 p.m. We'll be breaking down the priority waiver wires. We'll be breaking down what happened, how you lost, how you won, your best matchups. Make sure you join our DFS game. I'm gonna share that link in the Discord. Everything is in the link, Discord, podcast, whatever else we have down there. I have no idea. I hope you have great matchups. Justin, why aren't you talking? Why do I have to talk?
Because that's your job. But I think we're pretty much up. So
we are up. So guys, peace out. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.